Hi. Hi.
Here we are.
I think
We're
we can
on
hear
air.
everybody. I think everybody can
We're
hear
on
us.
air and we have. Oh man, this
We're
is
live.
SplitsQueen. Welcome. And now we're. It's not necessarily that we're split anymore.
I mean, we're
next
still
to each
split
other.
queens.
We're still SplitsQueens. Yes.
I just figured it would be a little bit more conversational if I could like put my arm around you.
It is, and if I can,
Just...
through the. Thanks. That feels good. Ooh.
Ooh. Get that spot. Get that spot.
Oh, welcome back, Panic. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. We took a little bit of a break
man.
because we wanted to get some things ironed out and make it a little bit
Yeah.
more of an event when we go live. And
Look at this vibe. You know,
yes.
look at this new set we have. All of our stagehands and interns that were helping us out, and by interns I mean Panic, because he did all this set work.
Streaming Demon is also wearing a red hoodie because it's Red Hoodie Day.
Is it?
Yes. You didn't get the
What
memo?
is the significance of that?
I don't know. I'm making it up.
Oh,
She's gullible.
I am very gullible. I'm not a himbo. I am intelligent. I could never be a himbo. I'm too intelligent for that. But I am very gullible. Do you hear
And
my
you're
ear
very
purifier?
humble. And you're very humble.
Am I? Because I said I'm intelligent.
You're like the most humble person I have ever met.
No, are you serious?
I'm fucking with you still. I love you. Hi everybody, welcome to SplitsQueen,
I gotta go.
where two queens talk about video games, video game news, video game impressions, and opinions that are sometimes a little too spicy. Too tight and spicy?
Too tight and spicy. No, not this. Not this.
If
Not me
you're
also wearing
watching
red
us
hoodie.
live, let us know if the levels sound good. There's inevitably something that goes wrong.
That's technology for you, though. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
So Panic and I have chit-chatted over the past 3 weeks. However, you and I have not discussed like what we've been playing. Like,
I know. Yeah.
You and like we've seen each other on stream, you know, kind of like in passing, as if we're at the office and we're just like, hey, you're doing great. Hey, you're doing great. And we like walk by the hallway.
Right. We stop at the
But,
water cooler every once in a while.
We do. We know. We catch up. We get
Although,
our
why
water
are you always
bottles.
coming out of the bathroom after other people?
Do not come for me in my gig in my own office.
I'm just saying. Management morale seems like way up since you started.
If it's, hey, and if that's what it takes, that's
Well.
what it takes. Stop this right now. Stop this right now. This is not. This is not how I intended to start this podcast off.
We will not be talking about my behavior in the office.
You're the most humble person I know. It's because I said I'm so intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Puts the Q. Oh,
The
puts the O
O
in
in-
CEO. Gosh. So hi Streaming Demon. Hi Katie. Hi Danny. How's
Thank
it
you guys
going,
so much for
everybody?
being here
Welcome
live.
in. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out with us. Woof. So you've been doing a lot of awesome stuff on your stream. I want to talk about your stream first.
Okay.
It's a great place to start. What have you been up to? How has it been going over there on twitch.tv/fullonpanic?
It has been. We've done a lot of Hitman this month because Hitman
Uh-huh.
3 was coming out, and I love that series. I have always loved that series, and I'm glad I get to share it with people because I think a lot of people think that the Hitman series is like an action game. It's not. It's never sold as well as something larger that I would consider in at least the AA AAA space. And I think it's because people misunderstand what it is. It's very much like a puzzle game. It's like a slow-paced, methodical, like very perfect for my channel because you can still interact with chat a ton.
Yeah, I was about to say right up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
Like your streams have a lot of puzzle elements to it. I mean, you've done the Myth series type games before. So Hitman, yeah, definitely fits in.
Yeah, I love figuring things out with my audience and with the community that comes around, and I love that they feel empowered and okay with like there's an unspoken rule that if you know the answer, you don't share it. But if you are actually guessing or like throwing out hints, it's totally fine. Like I'm okay with backseating. I know there's like there's a large swath of streamers that don't like backseating in any form or fashion. I'm okay with that on my stream most of the time, and that's why Hitman and stuff like that is so good for this, because people can kind of like throw out like, you know, what they think I should do, or if they want to see something. It's a perfect sandbox game for that kind of thing.
I love full on how do I solve this, what is happening streams, and I love full on puzzle streams from Bobby. Hi Bobby. I think too it's also good that the game offers multiple solutions for the same problem.
Oh yeah.
So that way when you guess, you know, multiple people can be right, you get to decide what you want to do. So I think that's good.
So we've also Sundays, because Mama Panic has been taking care of Grandma in Arizona. She's actually going to be back in early February, so we're going to start playing Stardew again there. But Bobby and I have been playing Sackboy on Sundays, so we'll be playing that tonight. I know
nice.
The name
Good.
has a lot of connotation. It's been a lot of fun though.
It's such a cute game.
So cute. It's so cute.
Yeah.
It's like if Mario 3D World didn't have quite as precise controls and decided to break the fourth wall constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the creativity and the artistry that is showcased on those levels, just the way that they you know represent things, hidden things, and like stuff that you can get, like they've done a lot of good work over there on creating that world.
Yep.
Right, creating that world from Sackboy, who was a mascot for a series of games that like it didn't really, you know, matter who it had for it, but
right
now he's like a full-fledged character. He's basically, you know, one of the PlayStation mascots. You know, which
I remember when PlayStation came out with that brawler, kind of like Super Smash Brothers, but it was all PlayStation characters. And it was
PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like, oh, such a ripoff. They don't really have that many mascots. But now that you think about it, like they've got like Crash Bandicoot, they've got Astrobot, they've got Sackboy, they've got Nathan Drake. I mean, it makes for a really weird mix of characters, like Ratchet and Clank,
Aloy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they are like building that stable.
Kratos.
Parappa the Rapper.
Kratos,
I loved that game when I was a kid, but I don't understand how it's like continued to be relevant but not had a new game in 20 years.
It's just one of those like cult classic kind of things.
Kick, punch, it's all in your mind. That's all I remember from it. The Onion Dude, kick, punch, it's all in your mind. That's all I remember from it.
I didn't play. I know like the premise of it, but I wasn't in the PlayStation economy like at that time that it came out, but I'm familiar.
I just realized that would be the funnest shit to stream. I gotta figure out a way to play Parappa.
Okay.
It's probably on PlayStation Now.
Yeah, it probably is.
Oh, that means I gotta pay for PlayStation Now.
Only for the short amount of time that you need Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
Basically a month. Just lend yourself, just commit to a month of Parappa the Rapper streams, and then be done with it.
I don't know. I mean, does it take a month? There's 2 of them, right? There's Parappa 2.
Oh.
There's 2 Parappa games.
Oh, I mean, like finish it or not, you know, the game can't be longer than.
What if I dressed up in all 80s rapper gear with a big clock and did a Parappa stream?
I love that. I think
I come up with ideas way more than I actually execute them. I just want to put that out there.
That's okay.
Also, I don't want to make yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll think about it.
There are thoughts. It's a brainstorming exercise right now.
Well, yeah.
You don't
Also,
have to commit to anything.
Does anybody out there have like a furry dog suit? Because he's a dog.
Again, we're just brainstorming right now.
Preferably not fully used. And anyway, so how's your stream been? What have you been doing over on yours?
Oh, my stream. Okay. So I've been in the process of moving. I had been out for like 2 weeks. As well, but on my stream we also have been starting some Stardew Valley. I had been playing single player for a while, and then I had one of my friends come in, Laurel Dane. He helped organize all of my hoarding tendencies in Stardew of just
Oh,
vegetables everywhere, monster parts, just
you make a
just
bunch of chests and just throw random shit in them.
you name it, it's in there. I was just, I sell the fruit that I don't need, but then because somebody inevitably in chat will be like, well, save some for the seed maker. And I'm like, I didn't even know there was a seed maker. Okay, well, just put some blueberries in here, I guess. I don't
I have to
know.
say, JJ
Yeah.
comes into my Stardew streams with my mom because he knows that we need guidance because we're both chickens with our head
Yes.
cut off.
Yes.
And he is like an encyclopedia of Stardew knowledge.
And
And
I love it.
but he's also like, he's not trying to get us to min max or anything. He's just like, this is
Right.
probably your best bet. It's super helpful.
And John has popped into my stream as well. He came in with the raid, and then he helped me out just because I will openly ask chat questions like, I don't know how to do this, or I'm unfamiliar with this, and I'll get a mixture of responses. JJ will pop in, he'll say, hey, you could do it this way, and I forgot to, like, you could upgrade your tools with Clint when it rains, or like the day before it rains. And then not have it during the rainy season. Because I learned when I played it 6 years ago, I learned you can only upgrade your watering can on like the 27th of every season, because you won't need it for the 28th, and then the first of the next season you'll need it.
Like, I would literally never think of that.
Right? So I had been doing that, but John is also correct in saying that if you know that it's going to rain the next day, water all your plants and then immediately send it to Clint. But you have to remember too to pick it up the day after it rains.
Side note, for anybody who's listening on audio, I'm sorry, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about, but does it make more sense if I'm like, because I look at the screen over, ooh, I got to move myself. Does it make more sense if I'm over here because I'm looking at you?
If you're on the right.
Yeah.
Because I am looking at you on this side.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, back to regularly scheduled programming.
You're taller. I'm looking up because I have a vertical screen. Do you like vertical screens?
I like it any which way I can get it.
Okay, well, we'll keep it at that. So for my streams, we've been doing Stardew Valley with Laurel Dane, and then I've been doing a little bit of Monster Train. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Okay.
It's kind of like Slay the Spire, right? If anybody doesn't know Slay the Spire, it's a card game that is super duper addictive. It's like a dungeon crawler card game where you have just so many modifiers and stuff. It's like a brand new game every time you play it.
And the main mechanic for Slay the Spire is that it's a turn-based RPG with card turns or card mechanics. And then Monster Train takes it just like a half a step further and turns it into not only a turn-based RPG, but also a tower defense setup as well. So you have 3 levels that you can place units. Those units will attack the incoming enemies once per turn. Those enemies will head up to the next level, and so on until you get to their core. And then once the core is dead, they'll attack until the core is dead or they are dead. You either lose or you continue on. So I've been doing that. It's also equally as complicated, equally as like complex, and just a lot of different strategies to employ there. I've been playing that on and off stream because I think it's just a good game to like jump into, just like to do one run and then say, hey, we're gonna bounce to the next game. But Stardew's been on the list. Been playing DBD. Off and on. I'm not necessarily a Dead by Daylight streamer. I know the gay community is rife with.
I actually saw some stuff on Twitter this week about people being upset about gay Dead by Daylight streamers, and that like,
sure.
Oh, I'm following you because you don't play Dead by Daylight or XYZ, like being kind of derogatory towards people that do. And although I'm not a Dead by Daylight streamer, I don't mind when people are. I don't. It's not that I don't like the game. I just have a hard time doing the same game over and over. Like I need new experiences to keep my serotonin popping. Like I just need that. But there are people to get really into these and get really good at them. Like Mako is doing really well playing Dead by Daylight, and also is really fucking good at Dead by Daylight. Like he can hatchet people across the map,
Right.
and that's
Meaning
his
Huntress.
that's his thing, and he's good at it, and he has a community and a following that loves it. So if you the moral of the story from what I'm saying is if you are listening to somebody saying I don't like that because everybody else is doing it, you don't have to listen to those people. Anybody who's gonna vocalize negative thoughts like that are probably not people you want in your community.
I think there's two parts to it, right? They are making a point in saying that there are the saturation of like the LGBTQIA plus tag and having it be a Dead by Daylight streamer is pretty high. Like it's that main pipeline is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way for other people to also see other LGBTQ streamers, and anything that will highlight an LGBTQ streamer, in my opinion, is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Highlighting them in a positive way. Anything that will do that, I think that's good. With that being said, do I find Dead by Daylight to be overdone? Agree. Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I think it's just found that resurgence amongst queer content creators, but the game's been out for almost 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a new game, but they've still been updating it. They've still been putting out new characters and putting out new killers and stuff like that. So it is.
But I feel like the core loop has not changed much.
Right.
Like, you're either repairing generators or unhooking somebody, or you're a killer, and there's not a ton of different things to do in it. And I think if there were more things to go for than just like the nodes that you can do for the tomes, I think I would be more interested in it if there were like classes where, and I guess each character kind of has their own special like abilities, but I mean more like a support class that doesn't even have to do generators, that would be more toward setting traps for the killer and stuff like that. Like, I would like to see something more along those lines to keep me more interested, because then I could switch classes and level up those classes and stuff. But that's a whole different game. Like, we're talking about making a entirely different game,
right? And it's hard to I think it's just hard like to not like or to not talk about Dead by Daylight in that way, because we've seen it done multiple times. Danny in chat says, I think there's an assumption for some that you have to play it because it's so popular in the queer community.
I mean, I certainly felt that pressure when I was starting. That's why I did have a couple streams of that. And Xander said we're talking about Evolve. Yeah, I mean, Evolve should have done better. I don't think that it necessarily needs to be a shooter game. I still think that the asymmetrical horror aspect would work. That's my opinion, though.
I miss Evolve.
It could have been so good.
We talked about it. We've talked about it on stream before, but I miss Evolve. Yeah, man, it could have been good. But do you want to move on? I'm gonna move on, I think. Okay. Do you want to do news first? Because I have a good segue.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
To something not newsworthy, though.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I think Back 4 Blood is gonna be a great game to play when it comes out.
Yeah. But I mean, that is a very defined genre already. That game is there's no question that they want to make Left 4 Dead again.
Right.
Which I'm fully behind, because I love Left 4 Dead. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think too that other developers have not really tapped into that genre as well as they could have, because it's so popular. Or it can be so popular to have a co-op of 4 people going for the same objective, right? Like zombies, horror, the drama, all of it. I think it could really take over the queer space.
Yeah.
Over Dead by Daylight.
So news time?
I think. Yeah, news time. We can do news
time. News time.
Are you ready?
You ready for this? Maybe it's a little long.
Oh, no, we have to play this out. This is the news.
This is the news, guys. This is the SplitsQueen news desk. Coming in hot.
I need paper. Do you have paper to tap on your desk like we're newscasters?
Oh my god! I've got an iPad. I'm gonna break my iPad doing it.
No, don't do that! Don't do that! No! Not that! Yeah, shuffle your paper.
Shuffle your papers.
Shuffle your paper, not
get a
your
pencil.
iPad.
So
we just both stick pencils in our headsets.
Yeah. So yesterday we had 2 streamers in our community to do 12-hour streams. That's 24 hours of homosexual streaming, and I am totally here for it.
Sexual streaming.
One of my favorite things last night was seeing Bobby turn into Barb from Stranger Things.
So good. Bobby did such a great job.
Playing some Dead by Daylight. So Bobby had his 1-year anniversary, and we had a lot of fun. We played Connect 4 on his stream, and I might have won. Which I'm trying not to gloat about, which is really fucking hard for me to do. So
to gloat, it's hard for you.
It's hard for me not to gloat when I win something because I'd never win.
You never win?
I'm you know.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. The 2 pairs of glasses, yes.
Okay. 2 pair. Oh my god. And just there were times because I know he's wearing like a bodysuit underneath. There were times where he was just like opening his jacket, and I'm like, Bobby, I know we all know you're wearing something under that, but like, why are you opening your jacket like that?
Just going for it. Barbie Mark, exactly.
Barbie Mark, I love that so much.
So, again, I wanted to wish him a happy anniversary on Twitch. And C-Dub was the other one who was doing a 12-hour stream.
He did. And C-Dub did a 12-hour stream as a reward for his community raising over $1,600 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation last month.
Absolutely.
So that was his, and you and I were both a part of that as well. As his reward, he streamed Dead by Daylight, Stardew Valley, Sea of Thieves, Jackbox Party Packs, and then he ended it with streaming RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13 on his Discord as well for the final 12th hour.
Yep.
So he had been doing some really good stuff over on his channel as well. We had such a great time doing that. C-Dub has been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves on Xbox platforms and has been using it as a great networking tool for other queer content creators to join him on Fridays. And I believe I will be joining him on Friday next week, this coming week, I think. So I haven't. He's been asking me. He's like, Pitt, when are you gonna play Sea of Thieves with me? And I'm like, I'll download it right now. Like,
well, I thought it was gonna be. I thought I was doing that too with you.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I think Bobby, right?
Yes, potentially. Yes.
Okay, more details to come on the Twitterverse.
More details to come. Yes. So have you played Sea of Thieves yet?
Oh yeah, I started streaming Sea of Thieves.
What?
Yeah, that's the first game that I really spent a lot of time playing.
Okay.
Well before I knew you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Years ago or like last year?
Last year. I would say I streamed it for all of April, maybe May. It was at least on Thursdays. I know I always did a 4 or 5 hour stream, and we had it's so much. That game is just made for hijinks. It is so incredibly
and
funny constantly.
4 gays on a boat is just comedy gold right there.
I mean, we do love our cruising.
We do. I'm not gonna say any more jokes about pirates and gay people. But Sea of Thieves is gonna be great. So yeah, we have great content creators across Twitch. And we've been just really, really doing some great stuff over there.
You know what else is going to be great?
Yes.
Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil Village.
So good. What a transition, y'all. Anyway.
I think that I have not been this excited for a Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 5.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, so backstory. Resident Evil 4 was, and probably still is, my favorite Resident Evil, right? It's just, it changed everything about the survival horror genre. It changed it into like more of an action game, but like just the way that they knocked that game out of the park was incredible. So I was really, 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 really excited for Resident Evil 5 because of how good Resident Evil 4 was, and I still remember having a great time with 5. I'm not one of those people that thinks like, oh, they went the wrong way, right?
Okay.
Resident Evil 8 is a continuation of Resident Evil 7. They released a whole bunch of stuff during a live event this last week, and some really cool stuff. Like they, the main character Ethan is coming back. Which did you play Resident Evil 7?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I don't do scary. I don't do horror on my channel or in general.
Wow.
I watch you do it. I'll watch you play it.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Well, you're welcome to come on over. So Resident Evil Village looks to be calling back to Resident Evil 4 in like some severe ways. Like the environments that you're seeing and stuff, like the castle environments, the village itself, like looks super duper Resident Evil 4, and I'm here for it. Also, gigantic vampire woman, like
Gigantic vampire women, and that's just, the icing on top right
but
there.
the fact that they're going towards this like more gothic horror and like classic horror stuff like werewolves and that sort of thing. Also, it looks like it's a little bit more action oriented with like some of the zombies that are coming at the stream. They're not even zombies. I don't know what to call them. They're like these weird, I don't know if they showed them in the trailer or not, but these like super scary looking like things coming at you. I can't wait. I can't wait. I played all of Resident Evil 7 in VR. They haven't, as far as I know, said anything about PSVR for this one or a VR version for this one. I'm hoping that it does come because, like, I think the things that the enemies I was talking about are coming up right here. Yes, look at these. Oh my god, that looks amazing. I cannot wait.
I'm scared already.
So they dropped a demo for PS5 called the Maiden demo, which is just like a visual demo. There's no action or fighting or anything in it. And I streamed the first half of the demo. It's pretty short, but I got stuck because there was an item that I couldn't find.
Okay.
But the environments are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, in 4K HDR on PS5, the environments they just like the wood on the staircases and stuff just like has the perfect sheen to it, and like it looks photoreal to me. I know that like whenever new stuff comes out, I know that whenever like new consoles come out, like it kind of you always think, oh, this looks real. This like that's the thing that people say is this looks real. No, this shit looks real. This shit looks real.
Right.
Oh, wrong one.
Me too. Bye. See you later. Just me now. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is
Oh
my
god,
show.
why is it still showing?
You took yourself out.
Oh my god.
There you go.
I'm professional.
No,
This is what happens.
We
This is what would if we had a producer. Anybody out there want to be a producer for little to zero pay?
that and we've been out of it for
True.
a few weeks, so it's a little rusty, and that's okay.
So
But,
they released a release date for it as well, May 7th, I think it is. Somebody fact check me on that, but I can't wait.
I wonder too what the game length is going to be, how far along they are in production.
Right.
This showcases that the graphics are good. They're going for that high graphic fidelity, which is great and what they need in Resident Evil. And in my opinion, for it to be like truly scary is to have that realistic experience.
Right.
Will you be continuing on in the demo during your stream?
No, it's short enough that I think I was right at the end of it, and the thing that happens is in the trailer, so it's not like you are missing anything. It's really just to take a look at the environments and how photoreal it looks.
I also heard that they're gonna come out with another demo. Is that correct?
Well, there's a multiplayer mode that is packed in, and it looks a little strange because it's like a competitive shooter where you're in a bunch of the old Resident Evil like 2 and 3 remake environments. Okay. And you're playing as the heroes fighting each other. So I don't know how that works. It's called Reverse, I think. RE:verse.
Is it going to be like a similar situation to The Last of Us
Oh, like the
multiplayer?
mercenary, the
Not in terms of like
oh, does it come
mechanics,
later?
but
No, it's
just
coming apparently day and date and packed in, much like the asymmetrical horror multiplayer that was packed into a Resident Evil 3 remake. But it's
oh,
like
okay.
it's a competitive shooter where you're fighting against other players. The thing is though, and I just read this on an article on like I think Eurogamer or something,
Uh-huh.
that in order to make the old environments work in that setting, because part of Resident Evil is the claustrophobic environment, so there's not a lot of room to maneuver. They shrunk all of the player character models so that like you can move around a lot easier.
What?
So stuff like the police station in the office where like it's Leon's, they've got like a welcome Leon banner. The desks are like as tall as the player characters. It's really strange. I don't know.
What?
It's like Capcom was like, all right, let's smoke some serious stuff and sit down and what do we think is going to be fun? And then they got sober and were like, how do we actually make that work? Is this still a good idea? I don't
And
know,
we
but
have
we're
all
going to
these
ship it.
assets that we really want to reuse, but
Yeah, it's just weird that
honey,
that's
I
the fix
shrunk
that
the kids.
it's just weird that that's the fix they went with is like just make everybody smaller so they have more room to move around.
They're trying. You know,
I
they're
hear
they're
that.
trying something
And as
out.
long as this game is not shorter as a result,
Right.
because
Right.
a half-baked multiplayer, we've learned our lesson by now. We don't need a half-baked multiplayer built into a
No.
game. Single player games that are full and wonderful are the experience that most people are going for. If they're picking up a package, they don't necessarily need the tacked in multiplayer to come back to it.
And the thing is too is that I feel like Capcom is going to want to try and market out and capitalize on that multiplayer, right? They're looking for something that can continue beyond this single player experience,
Right.
that they can sell DLC, microtransactions, loot crates, loot boxes for, etc., right?
Right.
But if that foundation is not good, that foundation is not stable enough for you to have a game that on its own is really good, there's no point in them having that.
I think that's
They're
exactly what happened with the Resident Evil 3 pack-in. I can't even remember what the the multiplayer was called for that, but it had a
Mhm.
cool idea. They didn't execute it well, and as far as I can tell, they sold a bunch of like, or they had them on a store there where you could buy points to get extra perks and stuff. But like,
Sure.
it just seems like they put all that effort into that instead of expanding Resident Evil 3 into something that
Right.
was as good as Resident Evil 2 remake would be, or was.
So like it's good for their effort, like A for effort, and then trying to implement something in that multiplayer space. But if you're a single player developer,
I just want them to
we've looked
whole
at
ass one thing. That's what I'm
yeah,
asking.
don't half-ass multiplayer.
Just whole ass the single player.
Everyone loves a whole
I
ass.
love a whole ass.
I can't with this. But it is true. Like we've seen PlayStation be very successful with their single player games, right? Um, uh, Horizon, God of
Yeah.
War, Uncharted, right? Like these narrative driven single player spaces are just so they sell well. They
Well, I
they
mean,
do sell
Uncharted
well.
always had a multiplayer baked in after Uncharted 2, right? And it was okay. It still wasn't the reason that people kept
Sure.
playing those games, though. I
Yeah.
challenge you to find somebody who's put like 100 hours into Uncharted multiplayer and like loves the shit out of it and went esports as hell with it. Like, I just don't think that that's
Yeah. I know of people that had played The Last of Us, The Last of Us multiplayer
yeah.
for a
But that
while.
but that multiplayer was amazing though for Last of Us.
It was unique. It had crafting. It had other strategy elements
And I
involved with
think
it.
that Naughty Dog made the right decision by saying, "Hey, we're still going to do multiplayer for number 2, but we're focusing 100% on single player to make sure that that's good, and we're going to ship that, and then we're going to ship multiplayer separate." They haven't said, I don't think, whether or not you pay more to get the multiplayer afterwards, but I would, because I know that they're going to take the time and effort to make that something special and make it
Yeah.
something that works, and it made it so that like we didn't have to have a delay so that they could get it there and we could get Last of Us,
Right. Right.
in
Right. Right.
time.
Is Resident Evil Villages multiplayer coming out later? Do we know?
I don't even think it has multiplayer. Well, yeah, yeah. No, it's coming. Village doesn't have multiplayer. It's another game that's packed in that's coming out day and date. That's like completely not even in the
Okay.
same. It's not first person perspective. It's very strange.
Like you can't, you won't be able to switch between Resident Evil Village and then playing the multiplayer. You have to like
That
exit the
I don't
game,
know.
load something else. You know,
It's just a
I'm
weird
wondering
thing
that
that's
that's
coming
the
out
case.
packed in.
Okay,
It's a
interesting.
very strange package.
And I hope there's just separate development teams doing this. I hope they're not siphoning off
Well, what I'm
resources,
thinking
time, and
is
people.
because Resident Evil multiplayer games just have never really worked. Like the Mercenaries games were kind of terrible.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking is maybe this is something that they started working on with the remake teams, and they were like, I guess let's just throw it out there. We've already got all these assets and
Sure.
everything. Let's just do it. And I'm hoping that that's the case and that they don't really spend a ton of time on it. And who knows? Maybe it's amazing. Maybe it's like revolutionary, but
The
I'm not
next
holding
thing.
my breath. Yeah.
No, not at all. I would rather just play the like newer games coming out
Yeah.
instead of like this multiplayer. But so we have that news article up, and then the other one that came out today, since we are an LGBTQIA2 plus representative podcast, I wanted to just share with you just an article on one of the characters from Mass Effect 2, Jack.
Yeah. So there was a report that this character was meant to be pansexual from the start. That the main character, no matter whether you were male or female presenting, that you would be able to romance Jack. And at the 11th hour, after building all the backstory and all of the previous relationships that she mentions, it was dropped, and that they felt that there were too many gay options essentially in Mass Effect, which I think is very strange to say. I would rather have a game that like is just fully open no matter what, but it's worth highlighting because it's a decision that a company made to make it more mainstream, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why they would do this.
And so I guess we'll do some context regarding this as well, because I think all of these things kind of surfaced when they announced that Mass Effect Legacy was coming out, the remake of all three of the original trilogy of Mass Effect. And Mass Effect 2 came out in 2011. It came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The space regarding the LGBT community at it 10 years ago is so different than it is right now. I'm not trying to make excuses for that. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses for them to make Jack straight or whatever. I remember playing this and understanding that Jack was at least bisexual or pansexual, like however you want to identify. It's different. So identifying as bi or pan are similar, but are different distinctions for the people that it really matters to.
Right.
Anyway, I remember her hinting at those kinds of things and just saying, Jack is a very volatile character. Have you played these?
I have,
before?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack was a very volatile character. She has bionic, like magical powers that it was difficult for her to control, if I remember correctly. I think she was like
super powered with it.
Yeah, she was very just, as much as her personality was also the same way. Her personality, her anger, and her powers were difficult for her to control. But I also remember her talking about just being very loose with how she dealt with her own sexuality and saying like, and this may be how I just remember it, but her just saying things about other gendered people and what kind of relationship she would have with them.
Yeah.
So there is, and as I'm reading the article from Eurogamer, there was basically only one gay relationship in Mass Effect, and that was with Liara, who is an Asari, which is a female only race, or a female presenting only race. So you could have a relationship with Liara, but that's.
But I mean, doesn't that kind of assume then that like the only reason it was acceptable is because that's the only option that race had?
That, and it's female presenting only. right? So, and again, at the time that Mass Effect 1 came out, which was like 2007, I, it was a different climate. It was a different like time period.
Like, to be
That
fair, BioWare's gotten better at it. Dragon Quest
yes,
Inquisition, I think it was. Was
Dragon
it
Age, yeah,
Dragon Quest? Jesus Christ, Dragon Age Inquisition. That's a very different game.
it is.
You could romance a slime.
Yeah, ew.
Dragon Age Inquisition let you romance the big bull. Which, if you didn't do that, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. but also the other dude who identified as gay.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot his name. The magic user.
Oh, I can't remember their names.
I can't remember either. But you could romance him directly, right, as a gay relationship too. So I think putting a lot of pressure on something that happened 10 years ago, it's just difficult, right? It's a difficult, thing to say.
But I think
I'm glad.
I think it's a good show of realizing that companies are in it for $1 and not necessarily for allyship. There is performative allyship in a lot of companies around June or so, when a lot of rainbows and stuff go up, that behind the scenes with the money makers, they're not necessarily pushing those boundaries because it's not going to result in dollars for them. So it's a good reminder to me to make sure that, like, I don't put too much stock in most major companies making the right decision because it's the right decision versus making the right decision because it makes them money. That's the way I read the situation.
And it's just it's not like people were,
because the fact is there was a plan in place. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. I get heated.
Oh no, you're good.
There was a plan in place to make this a possible gay relationship with a pansexual identifying person, and they cut that because it would be too controversial.
Right.
Like,
right. They sidelined it to DLC.
Right. Listen. If you want homosexuality to be a DLC, I need to get paid. I'm serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I will definitely be the added bonus upgrade.
You're already a bonus upgrade. Don't worry. And Mass Effect 2 was going for a different take. They were going for a more FPS focus, not FPS, but third person shooter focused game, a more action game. And I think Mass Effect 2 was praised for that. Mass Effect 2 was praised for moving away from that rigidity of RPG stuff that was in Mass Effect 1 and made it more of an action focused and action oriented game. And people regard it as the best of the series. And I agree with that. I think they did a really good job with it. But they did really like try and market towards the Call of Duty straight white man kind of market,
But that's where it's important to put that messaging to me.
Yeah.
That's where it's important to normalize that messaging.
We're all out here to make $1.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, to me, it's more important to put that messaging in if you really want to be an ally company, if that's such a thing. It's important to put those messages in your content. I think it's just as important to represent people of color in your content and
100,000%.
normalize people, having normalize that as an entertainment form. That's I think that's the way forward.
And to not, on top of that as well, and to not have any of these marginalized minority groups be represented as a caricature unto themselves either too, right? We don't need another Asian representation of them losing or finding their honor. Like, it's just kind of,
well, that's what I mean by normalizing. Like, don't make it
Sure.
an extreme. Barely mention it. Make it something that's obvious but not mentioned.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of a good look back in time as to like where we have come as a society, where we are now as a. Of course, you can have a gay character in your game. I mean, are there going to be haters? Absolutely, but they're still going to buy it. They're still going to buy the game. Like fanboys, man.
So
yes.
I think that's good for the news. Thank you for coming to SplitsQueen News.
Do we have an outro for it, or are we
No, it's the same thing.
Okay.
But I can stop it. That's cool.
Okay. I was like, I'll wait, because I can't. I don't know the cue, so I'll just be like.
Okay, that's the outro.
Clip that. We're gonna. That's gonna be part of our intro for this show. It's just us vibing to the news music. I want to talk about some upcoming games.
Yeah.
January is a great time in like gaming culture to look ahead into the year coming forth, and just looking at those upcoming games. Not very much happens in January news wise, except for Hitman 3, which came out already. Like January is usually that low time where people are getting back into the groove. They've been off for Christmas break, getting back into developing games and stuff. So looking ahead is usually a good time in January.
Right.
I have up a couple of articles, one from Games Radar, one from Polygon, and then one from Game Informer. Game Informer usually has the. Do you want me to link to you any of these?
Oh, sure, yeah.
GameInformer.com/2021, because Game Informer has been the definitive list, in my opinion. They have been for a few years.
Oh,
actually,
for calendar, yeah.
For the gaming calendar. Their last update, their most recent update.
Are you
was
actually
on the 4th.
linking this to me, or Game Informer?
I can.
What?
I said it, but I didn't. I just kept talking. I didn't hear.
Pet.
No, not this. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm trying. But also, I also was okay. I'll put it in chat too.
Okay, good.
Well, I knew the link was easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a long string of text that I would copy and paste. But GameInformer.com/2021. Game Informer puts out a great list that they update on a semi-regular basis of all of the games coming out per month and the days that they're coming out with. It's a big list. There's a lot of things on there that I really don't care about. So I'm going to go to another couple of lists as well. I can put it in the news and notes. I just kind of pop them up, but a couple of them. So the Polygon one that I have is in alphabetical order. So the first on the list is Back 4 Blood. We've talked about it a little bit. Back 4 Blood is a Left 4 Dead type game where you are four player characters against an AI horde of zombies. Back 4 Blood is not. It's a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead because Turtle Rock doesn't own the rights to Left 4 Dead. Valve does, but it's very much in the same vein.
But I thought that some of the original creators of Left 4 Dead were the ones making this game. Am I wrong about that?
It's Turtle Rock Studios made Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Before. So yeah, I mean, I would.
That's why I have high hopes for it, because I feel like it's going to be the original mission and intent. And
yeah,
Left 4 Dead was one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all time.
Yeah, and it came out to be such a solid experience as well. And we talked about it before when Back 4 Blood, when the alpha came out earlier a few weeks back. But definitely looking forward to getting 4 stack going for Back 4 Blood. We also have Bravely Default 2 coming out.
Oh my God! Can we get a team of queers together and call it like Backstreet's Back 4 Blood?
Oh, absolutely!
Back 4 Blood. Do 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 do.
Hi Arcade, welcome in. Of course we can. We're gay. We do what we want. Bravely Default 2 is coming out. Have you played Bravely Default or Bravely Second?
I played Bravely Default.
Okay.
I liked
played
it.
Bravely Default.
It was
good.
It was whelming. It was good. It was a warm game to me.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a classic Final Fantasy that had a lot of really wonderful quality of life adjustments. Like you could turn off encounters, you could speed things up really fast.
They knew what they were doing with that one, and I'm excited to see what they can do with a sequel to a sequel. I guess I don't know what Bravely's. I didn't play Bravely Second. Deathloop is coming out as well. I think Deathloop should be coming out in May.
I'm just excited for things to come out that are like specific to PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Or Xbox Series X.
That too. It's a timed exclusive to PlayStation 5, even though it's published by Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
But that deal had gone out before Bethesda was purchased by Xbox or by Microsoft.
But that's
Dungeons.
that seems to take some notes from like Hitman in that like you go into missions to try to get assassinations, and every little thing that you changes something down the line in that mission. From what I understand from the previews that I've read, it's kind of like these open world maps where like it's more gun focused and stuff and more action focused, but like you're altering timelines to get to an assassination target and take them out.
Right. So this is created by Arcane Studios, and Arcane is known for their Dishonored series. Have you played Dishonored?
Yeah, Dishonored 2 has some of the best level design in video games.
So good.
It's
So
yeah,
good,
it's amazing.
right? So I'm excited for the level design and what kind of mechanics they can get out of that. Arcane or Dishonored is a first-person game, so I'm hopeful that the shooting mechanics will still be good on it. And then they're also implementing a multiplayer component to it, or multiplayer aspect to it, in that Juliana is the one of the other antagonists to the main protagonist named Colt. Juliana is trying to assassinate Colt. Where Colt is trying to assassinate targets, Juliana is trying to stop him from doing so. And the main mechanic in Deathloop is that time continues as a loop.
Yeah,
so you learn as you go. Yeah,
I'm interested to see how they do that. Honestly,
me too. And to see what kind of mayhem you can cause. The next one, because it's in the alphabetical order, is Diablo 4. But
listen, Diablo is always like a good time to me.
It is. Yeah,
it's always a good time, but it never like it comes out so infrequently. Like, how long has it been since Diablo 3?
I was in medical school when that came out, so 7 years, 6 years.
And I mean, every time I pick up Diablo, I lose a couple hours of my life because it's just so pick up and play, and it's just so like, I don't know, they perfected the loop with it. So I'm interested to see what Diablo 4 can do. I mean, is it going to be totally different? How much have they really released about it? I don't really keep tabs on it.
I haven't either, and Diablo 4 will come out when it's ready. Blizzard, just keep going with what you're doing. Diablo 3 had such a horrendous post-development life.
Well, yeah, the stuff with the store you're talking about?
The store, the multiplayer, the real money auction house.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
The way in which the way that the main director, I forgot his name, but I can see his face, just like I can see the person that was before Phil Spencer and Xbox saying that if you wanted an online console, just get an Xbox 360. Anyway, that dude had just some weird hot takes on like what he wanted to see about Diablo 3. They completely reversed everything that dude wanted to do, fired the dude, and then reversed everything they wanted to do. And Diablo 3 came out to be a much better game afterwards. Took out the real money auction house, like everything. Anyway, Diablo 4, we'll see. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. What is that? What is this game? Another Diablo-like action RPG, but this is from Wizards of the Coast with co-op play.
Okay, so they know their shit though.
Let's hope.
Well, I mean, they did Magic the Gathering. And I'm sure many other things since then, but that's the one I remember that they've done.
But Magic is like not a video game.
I know, but it's still, I mean, games are games, right? It doesn't matter if it's on a screen or in your hands. Like, they still have core components that are fun or not. And if you can make it fun, you can make it fun in video. Like,
it's true.
I know that there's different considerations when it comes to doing a video game versus like a board game, but I think the core concept of entertain people while giving them a set of rules to operate within, that's the important piece.
That's true too. And I think if that core baseline is going to be really good, Frank in chat says they also just make D&D 2. They've had D&D video games before, and they've been relatively well received, if I recall correctly. And that's right. And we have been seeing more like Dungeons and Dragons based video games. Gloomhaven comes to mind. Baldur's Gate 3 comes to mind. Like the Warhammer stuff and like Might and Magic have been around as well. So I hope that they can finally push to like the upper echelons of like mainstream gaming, because I just don't think they've been as showcased as like other games of that genre have. Dying Light 2's coming out.
I am so excited.
Um,
I'm so excited for that game. I loved the first
yeah,
Dying Light so much. Parkour zombie stuff where you craft your weapons and you could just make the weirdest weapon combinations.
a day-night cycle. You know, just
Yes. The
a whole
multiplayer for
bunch
that
of
was pretty
stuff.
neat too, but you'd get people that were way too good. Like it was hard to be the
Yeah,
the stalker zombie guy. But
right.
yeah, like I want more Dying Light, and I thought for a long time that we weren't going to get it because the head of that studio left, and because they were supposed to release, and then they decided, nope, actually we are not going to give you guys a timeline. We're just going to go dark.
Yeah,
So,
which is unsettling for a game, but
but actually,
let's
just a
hope.
couple days ago, they leaked like the the what's the founders edition or legendary edition version of it, like that they have plans
Oh,
already for
sure.
that stuff. So that's a good sign.
So this Polygon article says it's coming out in the first half of 2021. We'll see. Along the same lines, we have Elden Ring, which is, in my mind, Elden Ring is becoming one of those Half-Life 3 situations. Where,
Yeah, I mean it's taking a lot longer than most FromSoft games, but George R. R.
right.
Martin's involved, so
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
that dude,
surprised.
yeah, that dude, he writes, but he writes slow
I
for
think they
what
could be taking
consumers
this
think.
time waiting for him to finish the story. I don't actually have any idea what
Who
the holdup
knows?
is, but just make Bloodborne 60 frames, please.
Yeah, right.
That's what
Um,
I want.
60 frame Bloodborne.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want a reason to play Bloodborne again that's like not just because it's so good. I want to play it
Right.
because like it's got a new coat of paint, you know?
Right. Ghostwire Tokyo. It's whatever. God of War
How do you really
Ragnarok.
feel?
About Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
The game looks boring as hell. That game looks so boring and bland. Are you kidding me? Do you have any opinions on Ghostwire Tokyo?
It's got a cool name.
Yeah.
I don't.
It.
I honestly, I remember seeing it at the games reveal, the PS5 games reveal, and being like, keep an eye on that," and I didn't. And so now, I remember thinking the name is cool.
Arcade in chat says he's unfriending me. That trailer did not look good. That trailer was the same. I know it's supposed to be Tokyo, but it looked like the same thing.
Yeah.
They showed like 3 different environments. You're just killing ghosts. I don't know.
Hey, it worked for Fatal
Prove me wrong. Right? Like, I don't know. Anyway. But again, there are other games like God of War Ragnarok way better.
Do you think that's coming out this year?
No. I don't
Next
think
year?
so. Yeah. I think it's a next year game. What do you think?
I think it's possible that it comes out holiday this year. I think it's possible. If they reuse a lot of the stuff that they had to build for God of War, then it's possible. If they did like a Majora's Mask situation, I don't want them to do that.
I don't want them to reuse anything. I want them to. They can reuse some things. They can reuse enemies and stuff, but like, I don't want them to reuse.
Like, but get rid of like the
set pieces,
elf things that could fly and block all your attacks. Like those were always a pain in the ass.
I hated. I always like left that plane. I was always like, no, I'm not doing this. This is.
Oh no,
tedious.
honey, not this.
Oh honey, no. They can't. I feel like they can't reuse too much because that story was so integral to all of those environments. Talk to me about Stray, though. What's that arcade?
Stray is the PS5 game that they showed where you're a cat.
Oh, it's in here.
Yeah.
It's in alphabetical order. That's why we didn't get there yet. It's in here. This might take a while. I'm trying to blaze through it. We're getting there.
I just keep stopping you to talk about everything.
But I love it, and there's no reason for me to just name a list of games and like have us not talk about it.
But yeah, Stray looks cool. I'm into it. I'm allergic to cats, so it's like the only way I can really get close to them.
I'm also allergic to cats. Dogs stand forever. Gotham Knights. I think Gotham Knights might be really good as well. Have you heard about this one?
No.
Gotham Knights. It doesn't say the developer. WB Games Montreal, behind Arkham Origins. They're creating a game where Batman is dead, and the rest of the next generation of Bat people are the new characters. So it's Batgirl.
I didn't know there were more Bat people.
Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and Nightwing.
Okay. Why is Robin? Why do they call him Robin? That's not intimidating whatsoever. They're usually like a sign of hope in the spring, like, you know, when you see the first Robin, spring's coming. It's just such a weird, like, I'm Batman, that instills fear, and I'm Robin, now I'm fucking laughing at you. Like, I don't get why they went that way with it. It could have been like Batman and Batboy. I don't know. That Batman and like
For those of you with us, what do you think is more intimidating, Robin or Batboy? Please answer in chat.
Batboy. You mean like at the major leagues in the series?
In the major leagues, yay sports. so for in Gotham Knights, we have the next generation of Bat people. And I believe it's like a co-op game as well. It has single player with the option. It says with the option for 2-player co-op, action adventure, along the lines of like Arkham Origins. So I'm thinking it's like a beat 'em up. That's my guess.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I haven't been following it, and superheroes just make no sense to me. So.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Honestly, okay. So I've also
hot take.
Side note. I've been watching WandaVision.
Oh,
Am I supposed to know what's going on?
No.
Does anyone know what's going on? Because I don't know any of the Marvel movies, so like I'm
the producers
extra
know what's going on.
Okay, I'm extra lost.
There's a lot of like hidden, I again haven't seen the show, but I know about it. There are a lot of like hidden Easter eggy kind of stuff, and they're, it's a slow burn as to like what's going on. I think. But,
no spoilers that I can tell, but my review of it is the first 20 minutes of every episode, because each episode's like half an hour. The first 20 minutes of every episode is like a really good recreation of either like an old 50s sitcom and like now 70s sitcom. And then it just veers, and it's like, okay, now this is the part of the show that is for everybody that knows Marvel inside and out. And we're just going to get weird, and then we're going to end. And then the next episode starts, and like, there's a weird thread going through it, but like, it's fun to watch them recreate these genres of television show so faithfully. But then it gets weird, and I'm just like left like, do you have any idea what's going on? Because I don't.
Right. So Arcade in chat says if you're in the know about Scarlet Witch, you'll know. Okay. I don't, and neither of us are in the know about Scarlet Witch. Going back to Katie's comment, Robin is supposed to be after Robin Hood.
Oh.
Which I didn't realize either, but the green makes sense now.
Yeah, and the weird vest and the
and the weird vest and the hood kind of sometimes.
That but but wait, Katie. No, that doesn't make any sense because he's literally working with the super rich guy.
We're not going to think about it too heavily.
I'm just saying, like, if he's supposed to be Robin Hood, he should be stealing from Bruce Wayne.
It's very true. And he kind of is. He's basically mooching off of him.
I think there's something going on between Robin and Alfred, and like, he's using Bruce to get to Daddy.
This segment brought to you by Hot Takes by Full On Panic.
Somebody write that fanfic.
It's already been written, honey. I'm
Rule 34.
Come on. Oh, God.
So what's next on the list?
The Gunk is about... I'm just going to read this one because I'm unsure about the Gunk. The Gunk is about two space truckers who find a beautiful but seemingly abandoned planet full of plants and valuable resources. However, they also discover that a mysterious gunk is infecting their planet. They'll have to save the planet if they want to get out alive. It's behind the studio behind SteamWorld games, so SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Heist, all that.
What genre is it? Because they've tried to do everything.
It's hard to tell. I don't think they've really come out with like any visuals on it. I see a concept art piece for it, but I don't know. Hi, Deb. How's it going?
Hi, Mama.
Halo Infinite's on this list, but I'm going to skip that. we talked about that. Hitman 3 is on here. I'm also going to skip the next one. Not even going to say that one. Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Yeah. Oh, so looking forward to that. So looking forward to that.
Sequel to Hollow Knight. Hopefully this year, but we don't know.
Listen, it's like a 2 or 3 man team.
Take as long as you need.
Yeah, take as long as you need because the first game you made was revolutionary.
Right.
So incredible.
Horizon Forbidden West. And I always mistype Horizon with a colon. Horizon : whatever, and it's not. So that's it.
That's
That's all I have
I
on that.
love hearing these stories about you. I feel like I learn
Human-
something new about you every day.
Humankind. Humankind is a 4X game, turn-based strategy game.
Okay.
Uh, with the team behind like the Endless series, so Endless Legend, Dungeon of the Endless, and then
This is a
they're
blind
now coming
spot
out
for
with
me.
Endless.
Are those all real time
4X
strategy
games.
as well?
They're different. They're different genres of games. Endless Legend is a 4X game. I think it's hex based. I played like 5 minutes of it and I was like, this is too much. Dungeon of the Endless is a dungeon roguelike, I believe. And then Endless Dungeon in the same group.
Listen. Somebody call their PR department and say, what are you doing? If it's
They're
this endless, why are there sequels?
They have trademarked Endless. So Endless Dungeon is Endless TM Dungeon.
No colon?
No colon. No colon here. No colon. A game that I am also very excited to play co-op is It Takes Two.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the same people that made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. And
A Way Out.
Before that, and after that, A Way Out as well. So It Takes Two looks really cute.
They're doing the same thing with It Takes Two that they did with A Way Out, which I think is very, very smart. You only need to buy one copy, and if anybody else wants to play with you, they just need to they download the demo, and then just get an invite from you. They could play the whole game.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Okay, that makes it much better
because it's forced co-op.
Right. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. We already know that's gonna be great. Little Nightmares 2. That'll be a good one.
I didn't play the first one.
It's cute. I think it's up your alley. I think it's something you can play. The puzzle mechanics in there are very, very simplistic. It's things that you're like, oh, I need to do this. Okay, cool.
Kind of like Limbo or
along those lines. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. Didn't even know that was going to be a thing.
Yeah, I remember reading about this. It's going to be like his backstory.
Right. And it's supposed to be like more stealth based than action based, which good luck. The Medium. Are you familiar with this one?
No. That's actually like this month, right? No.
January 28th.
January 28th.
Bloober Team made Observer and Blair Witch. I
loved Observer
before. Right. Blair Witch is meh. So the Medium is coming out as well. It's psychological horror. I think definitely a panic game as well.
Oh yeah, keep talking.
Monster Hunter Rise.
I am a huge Monster Hunter fan.
Really?
I cannot wait for this.
Have you seen my hat? Did you see my hat? Hold on. Stand by.
For audio listeners, Pitt is getting up.
I thought I would get it here, but
and he is rummaging through behind his green screen. And
I'm all tangled up.
Is it a Palico?
It's a Palico. Hat? Yes, it's a Palico.
Wait, so you also are a Monster Hunter fan? I didn't know this about you.
I am a fake Monster Hunter fan. I was messaged by one of our streamer friends that was like, "Oh my gosh, a Palico! Let's play Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out." And I was like, "Oh, I played like 20 hours of that game and then stopped." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Which one? Monster Hunter World you played?
Yeah, I played Monster Hunter World before.
Monster Hunter.
It's hard. The game's not easy.
Oh, but it's so good. I honestly
should.
I should think about just streaming it. It's perfect for stream. I could play it as much off stream as I am on stream, and it's not like that's perfect. Why have I never done that? I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. I've been playing Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter 3 Unite, I think it was called.
I'm learning more about you as well. I didn't realize. I think we have talked about Monster Hunter before, but I just didn't realize like you were a huge Monster Hunter fan.
Oh yeah, I used to evangelize it to my friends. I would be like, "You guys have got to try this.
Play this game,
right?" And then they would all try it, and they'd be like, "I can't even beat the first monster. There's no health bar. Nothing locks on. You can't move it around." Because this was back when it was only on like 3DS or even DS, and you had like with the 3DS where they had the new 3DS with the little nub. Because what you used to have to do is like you'd have a claw formation that you'd hold, like when on the PSP version that I had, or it was PSP. You didn't have two thumbsticks, so you'd have to like maneuver your camera with the face buttons, but then like you'd hold it like almost like a gang sign. You'd hold the controller to try to move it and keep your eyes on the monster and stuff. Oh, I love Monster Hunter.
Panic, that sounds awful.
Yeah, no, it was
That
always a chore
sounds
to play it,
awful.
and then Monster Hunter World comes out, and it's like their most successful one, and
Right.
it's so good. But people are still like, I don't understand why you got to sharpen your weapons. I'm like, this has been a thing. You don't become a new Monster Hunter fan and be like, I want it to be this way. Like I heard people talking about Monster Hunter Rise that like I hate it that you have to sharpen your weapons. I don't get why they keep this in the game. It's like it's been this way for 25 years. You just let it be its thing. I'm not gatekeeping. There's just get used to the fact that your weapons are going to dull when you're hitting
it's a
a monster
mechanic.
hide, and don't
Yeah,
look
it's
into it if it's a hammer and you still have to sharpen it. Don't look into it.
you have to sharpen the edges, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you play any of Dauntless?
I tried it. I saw what they were going for. It felt a little too let's take Monster Hunter and monetize the shit out of it. That's what it felt like to me. Cuz yeah, it was
Okay.
free to play.
Right.
I just didn't like
And
how they
that's
came in
fair.
and they were like, "Hey, check it out, season pass, and now you can buy all these materials, and now you can do all this stuff." And it's like, I like Monster Hunter because you are forced to go out and hunt and get better at the game. And I mean, it scratches very much like the Dark Souls itch for me. That like, yeah, it's going to be difficult, and you have to learn the movesets and get good at those movesets to get to the really like higher echelon stuff.
I just personally found that I couldn't spend the time to do what I wanted to do in Monster Hunter.
Meaning what?
You have to commit several hours of practice and learning and understanding, those mechanics of what you need to do to hunt those monsters. And I just couldn't, like, once I fell off of it, I couldn't get back on.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's in Monster Hunter World, there's the training area where you can go and learn your movesets and get good at like triggering them. But I always felt the best way to do it would be to go to lower level hunts and get a whole bunch of materials for something that you're still learning all the movesets that way, and you're completing old sets of armor that maybe you can use to upgrade even further. Like,
Right.
there's always a way to progress in Monster Hunter in terms of like the materials you're getting. It's kind of like a never ending gameplay loop that doesn't necessarily have to rely on the story. You can just continually make your stuff better and keep hunting monsters and learn more about them. And one of my favorite things about it would be, like going online and helping other people slay monsters that they were having trouble with. That's always a good feeling too. But I really like the idea of having to like fight the same monsters over and over to get a bunch of different parts and having random drops. Like that's what kept me coming back. That's why I think I didn't like Dauntless as much, is because it was more monetized and they would ask you to have a season's pass to get like certain materials and stuff, and I just wasn't into that.
Right. And for Dauntless too, it really was kill this monster 6 times and then you'll get it.
Right. Yeah.
Which it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
Because I remember like there's a end game monster in Monster Hunter World that I needed one gem from, and it just was not dropping. And I was queuing in with people that I knew to try to get it, and like, all right, let's just keep killing this thing because I need this gem to get this helmet, or I can't remember what I was trying to make.
Right.
And one of my friends that I queued in with, it was their first or second time fighting the monster, and they got the gem.
Ugh.
And you can't give materials or anything.
Right.
So yeah,
I
like
hate that.
There is something to be said about RNG being an asshole in games like that, but it's part of what keeps you coming back. I miss Monster Hunter, and I should play that. I should play it.
Right. So Rise is coming
Parappa,
out.
Monster Hunter, we got plans.
Parappa and Monster Hunter Switch exclusive on March 26th. You have a little bit of time to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Rise will take advantage of the Switch and not be like, just bogging down the system. Switch is not a new system anymore, and it's the least powerful out of all of them too. Mm-hmm. So let's hope. But it's going back to its mobile roots, so there's much to say about either side. New Pokemon Snap was also announced this year's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. The franchise that's coming out for Switch. Near Replicant version 1.224744871139.
I didn't catch all that. Can you say it again?
Uh, no, I'm not doing that. It's updated and remastered version of Nier Replicant. Nier Automata was really good.
Replicant was before Automata, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Automata was the first one I played, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Overwatch 2, who knows if that's going to be a thing. Persona 5 Strikers is coming out.
The weird Persona spin-off games that I've never played.
Oh, just all of them. Just
Dancing
the
all
rhythm
night.
game and
Yeah.
just they can only come out with so many Persona games every like 5 years or whatever, so they have to iterate on them with other things and just
I still think they're making a big mistake not releasing Persona 5 on Switch. I feel like it could handle it. They wouldn't have to cut a ton. It's not like the character models or the 3D modeling is that intense.
Or even the dungeons.
Yeah.
The dungeons aren't that crazy.
Did they ever end up putting Persona 4 Golden on Switch? I know it went to PC. That's another one that would fit really well because it was such a perfect handheld game with Persona 4 the Golden on Vita.
I don't know what Atlus's deal is. I mean, they have Bayonetta on Switch, but then they have
Where's Bayonetta 3? Where's Bayonetta 3?
I haven't played a single Bayonetta game. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you? Oh, I
don't know. I just play Stardew Valley.
I gotta grow turnips.
You've never played a Castlevania.
Well, okay, yes, that, but also Bayonetta, I think, is so iconic, so good.
It is.
I think it's required homosexual reading. Like, if you like video games and you're gay, Bayonetta is a must play.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration.
It's the RuPaul's Drag Race of video games.
I feel that. Playdate. Have you seen this Playdate thing?
Mm-mm.
It's a little handheld. It's like a really, really tiny handheld, like this. Like
yeah. The little mini console,
2 or 3 inches by 2 or 3 inches. That should be coming out this year, but it's going to cost $150.
I have a friend that pre-ordered that because that pre-order sold out immediately.
It looks cute, but also phones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's got buttons. Ooh,
it's got buttons.
It's got little buttons. Look, cute little buttons.
It's got a D-pad and 2 buttons. Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, can't wait.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That should be coming out soon. What?
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, it's okay. I've never really like gotten into a Ratchet and Clank game. Every time I've played one, I'm like, this is a serviceable and fun video game, but it's not like one that I, out of the lineup of video games available, gravitate toward.
He's a good mascot. I think he's a great mascot. I think it's a good like kid oriented game.
Nothing like influencing the children by showing them how many different ways you can shoot a gun.
Alien guns with no blood. Village we talked about already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna Shin Megami Tensei 5. Didn't realize that was gonna be a
God,
thing.
where is that game too? That was announced like 3 or 4 years ago. I love Shin Megami Tensei.
But it's it's Atlas, and Persona 5 got delayed like 6 months, and Stray.
Yeah, so this is what Eric Arcade was talking about.
Right. PS5, PC. Players will be as stealthy, nimble, silly, and sometimes as annoying as possible.
It looks like
Stray Cat.
It looks like Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, but like
Cat
really
edition.
nice graphics. Yeah, and everyone's a robot.
What was that game on PC where you were the cat and you had cat arms and you were just trying to make as much, and you were trying to break as many things as possible in the room? Have you seen this?
Yes. It's like the graphics of like Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've seen that. 12 minutes looks really good. 12 minutes is by one person. It's coming to Xbox One and PC. Published by Annapurna. It's a top-down perspective of a man who is repeating the same 12 minutes over and over again, and the storyline changes based off of, it's like Groundhog Day. The storyline is changing based off of what happens. The developer Luis Antonio put out a very small portion of the game, or the trailer showed a very, very small portion of the game where it was like not voice acted at all. And it was just like one thing. And he received like so much positive, stuff regarding it that it became voice acted by like high profile people. It became like a more fully fledged game. So I'm really excited about this one. I think it's something that you'd probably enjoy as well. It's obviously like very story driven. Something I'm looking forward to as well. That's about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming out this year. I'm looking forward to. And of course, we're going to talk about it all here as it happens.
Cat lateral damage. Absolutely. Anything
Cat
you're
lateral
looking
damage
forward
is the
to
game I was thinking of. Yeah, that's what I put
in particular. Anything that you're like, besides Hitman 3, because that already came out.
Yeah, that already came out. Well, The Last of Us multiplayer is going to be awesome. So hoping that comes out this year. Breath of the Wild 2, yes. I think I kind of gave my takes on stuff as you went through the list, but yeah, I'm looking for
Back 4 Blood.
Returnal is coming out. I don't think we talked about Returnal.
Oh, yes, Returnal.
That kind of gives me like, what's the name of that game? What's the game from Capcom that was like temperature? That you were on an alien planet and you had it was like a shooting game and you had Sub-Zero. It wasn't called Sub-Zero though. It was like you always had to worry about the temperature because it was always cold.
Sub-Zero
cold something.
wins.
I can't remember. Lost Planet.
Yes,
Arcade. Thank you for coming.
Come on, Arcade.
Come on, Arcade. Yes,
Arcade,
Lost Planet.
You're so good for the.
Lost Planet was something I super loved back in the day on Xbox 360.
It just reminds me of this. Returnal just reminds me of Death Stranding in terms of its like graphics, and I didn't.
But the gameplay looks very Lost Planet.
Yeah, better than Death Stranding at least.
Yeah.
But that's it. I guess that's it for us.
Yeah, it has felt very good to get back in the saddle.
Absolutely.
We took a couple of weeks off, and
appreciate you as always, Panic. I appreciate hanging out with you and just chit-chatting about video games.
100%.
Stay tuned in this space as well, just to see what other things we add to our segments, what other things that we will upgrade, etc. 2021 is going to be a great year for SplitsQueen, for Panic and myself in terms of our streaming platforms. You can find Panic at twitch.tv/fullonpanic or twitter.com/fulonpanic1, number 1. You can find me at twitch.tv/pitinjury and twitter.com/pitinjury. You will be streaming tonight.
Yes, I'm streaming with Bobby Mark.
Bobby Mark.
Co-streaming a little bit more of the Sackboy on PS5.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I'll be there. I'll be there to say hey.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Welcome to 2021. We're gonna go ahead and raid. So if you want to stick around for that.
Yes. Who should we raid?
I don't know.
Let's look right now.
It's up to you, hun. It's your choice.
Me?
Yes.
Oh goodness.
Make the choice.
Oh my goodness.
Make the choice.
Gosh.
I don't like making decisions.
I know. It's okay. Let's do Between Two Gays is playing Hades.
Okay. Just make sure they're not like ending soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna check right now. 226. We're good. And it's currently Ryan. So Between Two Gays is a
send me how you spell
Twitch
that.
channel. No worries. I'm gonna put it. Can I put it in chat?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm not in chat. Just kidding. It's gonna be on Discord because
that works too.
Have too many windows open. Between Two Gays is right. Between Two Gays is a co-opted channel. Jason with the pronouns he, him, and Ryan with the pronouns they, them. Currently, Ryan is playing Hades. They stream together and separately. They're both speedrunners for different games.
Very cool.
Yeah, Ryan was speedrunning Dadish, I believe, and then Jason was speedrunning a little bit of Celeste earlier.
Nice. God, that's a brutal
Yeah.
speed run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right.
Thanks everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
We love
Bye.
you.